Hello.
Good morning, Supervisor Solis.
Oh,
We are running a little late,
okay.
maybe 5 minutes at most, and we'll be starting soon. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor, but those correctors now are.
Good morning.
Meetings to them. Yeah.
Okay.
And post.
I'm trying not to stay in front of you.
I forgot to put blocking gloves on at the last meeting.
I think we have form now. We may proceed to this and duties.
We're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order at 11:06 a.m., not 11 a.m. Yunin, can you provide a quick overview of the meeting instructions?
Yes, we are holding this meeting in compliance with Brown Act rules relating to telephonic video conference meetings, as some of our committee members are participating via teleconference. Each teleconference location has been identified on the agenda and made available to the public. For committee members joining us via teleconference, please use the raise hand feature if you would like to speak. We will call in the order we receive the raised hands. For members of the public that have joined us in person and would like to provide a public comment, please fill out a comment card. They are located by the entrance doors and give the card to me. We will call on you when it's your turn to speak. For members of the public that have joined us at a teleconference location and would like to provide a comment, please notify the staff present when you would like to provide that comment. And lastly, you may provide a public comment for up to 3 minutes. And that concludes my instructions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yunin. May we have, Tim, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today? Is that okay?
That is Tim 2, right? Tim Sandoval.
Two. Well, it depends, you know?
You're number 1, Tim. Okay, if everyone will please stand and repeat after me. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
of the United States of America
and to the
and to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Sandoval.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim.
Joanna, roll call, please.
Chair and COG President Hepburn,
Present.
Vice Chair and First Vice President Reese,
Here.
Member Shevlin,
Here.
Member Lowe,
Here.
Member Moss,
Here.
Member Clark,
Here.
ACE Representative Torres.
Here.
ACE Representative Sandoval,
Here.
and LA County District 1.
Here.
Thank you, we have a forum.
Thank you, Joanna. Let's see. Kevin, are there any changes to the agenda? Kevin?
Chair Hepburn, there's no changes to the agenda.
Good. Yunin, is there any public comment requests?
Yes, we did receive a public comment request from Ashley Rosati Kaiser.
Last name is Kaiser.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, good afternoon or good morning, everyone. It's nice to see many of your familiar faces. I am Ashley Rosati Kaiser. And I know many of you in my former capacity, but I'm here to introduce myself in my new role as Director of Government Affairs for the Associated General Contractors of California. And so I started with them in February. We are a membership organization that has about 900 members. And so we represent the voice of the industry, and many of which are doing the work and the projects of what you are reviewing and whatnot. And so I just wanted to offer my comments and an introduction if we could be of service or of value to you. We would love to collaborate or connect more on other opportunities to engage. Our 3 pillars are improving industry relations, our workforce development, and shaping policy. And so if there's anything that I can do to support you or further engage, I would be happy to do so. And I have business cards, which I'll leave with you all. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate that. Sure. Thank you.
And Rosati is my maiden name, so I just left that.
Rosati. Thank you.
Sorry for the confusion.
Any other public comments?
No more.
Okay, we move to consent calendar. Any public comment requests on the consent calendar items?
We did not receive any written public comment. Please allow me a moment to see if we have any raised hands from the public. Seeing none, we may proceed.
Very good. And no comments or changes by any committee members? No.
Move the item.
Approved, pardon?
Move the item, Solis.
Very good. Thank you, Supervisor. Second?
Second.
Joanna, roll call, please.
Chair Hepburn,
Yes.
Vice Chair Reese, Vice Chair Reese.
Drop off.
I thought I heard like the quietest there.
Yes, can you not hear me?
Yes.
We hear you now.
Oh,
Thank you.
right.
Member Shevlin,
Yes.
Member Lowe,
Yes.
Member Moss,
Yes.
Member Clark,
Yes.
Member Torres,
Yes.
Member Sandoval.
Yes.
Thank you. Member Solis.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you, Joanna. Any public comment requests on any of the update items?
We did not receive any written public comments. Please allow written comments if we have any raised hands from the public.
No.
Seeing that, we may proceed.
Oh, wait, that's called.
We good?
I have 4 now.
Okay, let me figure out.
Would you like one more?
No, I was kind of like, I was out there and I'm like, I don't know what. I think
Chair.
All. Yeah, we can advance, or we can go. No, it's not right.
No public comments, is that correct?
That's correct. We may proceed.
We'll go with Director Lai. Could you get an update, report and verbal presentation, Director Lai?
Yes, thank you.
You, losing my mind.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. The Director of Capital Project Report is an update on the key programs administered by the department. The department continues to make progress on the various projects, and our senior project manager will be presenting a verbal update on this project. There is one update relating to the Cpcc movement that I would like to mention, which is moving forward. We will be meeting quarterly for the Cpcc meetings. This update schedule has been approved by the executive director and the chair. This allows for a more efficient use of the committee's members' time, and any critical items that does come forward that requires attention between the meetings, we can take it to the governing board or call for a special meeting to address the action item issue. Now, our next meeting is tentatively set for July 1st. We just want to also take a poll to see if that's a good date, as that's also the same week as the 4th of July week. July 1st is on Monday. 4th of July is on Thursday. So
Yeah,
we
that
wanna
July
make sure-
one's gonna look, I
Yeah.
don't know about
And
that.
if that is the one, we can propose a different time for the committee. So want to kind of put it out there to see if that's a viable time.
I personally myself would be probably July 15th would be a better time. I think July 1st is a no-go.
Sure.
As far as, I mean, we're, yeah, our cities are doing functions and preparing. And yeah, I would say if that's okay with, yeah, we'll go with the 15th.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
so thank you. So thank you. And the spirit director's report is to be received on file. We can take any questions before we hand over to our senior project managers to provide an update.
Everything seems to be moving well,
Yes.
even with this last small little rain we had with the, what was it, 3 to 5.5 inches of rain?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So we're still pretty much on schedule. We're doing well,
Yeah.
enough days in there to, it looks like the double tracking, and then EPRR is doing their thing, and
Yes, the EPR is certainly on board, and we are making progress.
there was a topic of conversation when we were in DC, and it was a very, Grace Napolitano said, give me details. So if there's any issues, we need details from staff. I know Steph and Ricky were there, and she was very serious about it. So I think moving forward, as we, with UPR, are there any issues with them? I think we need to make sure that we get it to her and the people. We don't want to obviously throw the flag out all the time, but when there's an issue and it's going to cause any delays for us in the future, I think we need to probably do that ahead. So just so you know, she has an open ear. I know she's only in office for a bit of time, but we have a lot of things going on. So anyway, just an FYI.
Okay, thank you. Very good information to have. So with that, we'll go ahead and head over to our senior project manager for updates.
So 5760 Confluence, construction continues. Next slide. A couple of months ago, you noticed that we built up the pile of dirt and there's stacked hay rail, and now we're bringing it down. You're like, well, what's going on? Basically, what we did is called the settlement period. For 120 days, you load up the dirt, you poke straws through it, the water comes out and the dirt settles. So that settled a couple of inches. Now that it's settled, the 120 days is over, we can start removing the dirt that we don't need. And we're gonna start building the retaining wall along the golf course. So right now that H-looking pile of dirt is gonna be the new off-ramp and new on-ramp for the 57 and the 60. Next slide. So that's what the retaining wall is gonna look like. It's basically like building Legos. It's gonna be stacked panels with mesh. It's,
Oh, my goodness.
we're building the panels off-site and we're bringing them onto the site once they're ready. So it's just wire mesh. It's pretty easy. Caltrans does this in several projects. It's tried and true. Next slide. This is over there at Golden Springs Drive. This is the bridge that's gonna widen to 57. Right now, once we're working on the substructure, which is gonna be the bottom part of it. And then next year, what we're gonna do is start building the widening. It's gonna be pretty easy where you just add a girder and that widens our bridge. And lastly, the next slide. This is on the eastern limits of the project. It's Palomino Drive. There's a lot of residents there.
Yeah.
So this work was supposed to happen sometime in 2026. We're accelerating it this year. So it's better if we reduce our project limits and we build a wall behind these neighbors because a sound wall and retaining wall goes back there. And
Has that been any issue because you've got the drop off there and you're adding that lane? Has any issues with the residents there? Pretty much on the behind the property line. It's not on the property line, obviously.
With the rain, we've had to put additional measures because of the rain. The way it was before and the way it is after, the freeway is higher than the property, so. In the meantime, we've had to put extra measures to mitigate the rain. So we're constantly canvassing the area, talking to the neighbors, or neighbors, they call us, they know who to talk to if there's an issue. So before every rain event, it's called a pre-rain inspection. We go out there and we make sure every device is working.
It's a lot of dirt.
Yep.
A lot of dirt.
It's a lot of dirt. It's actually good soil because most retaining walls, you gotta put a foundation system. With these, you just build on top of it, which is good. It's funny how much soil conditions change from one part of the project to the other. Right here, you can just build a wall and won't settle versus on the golf course. So you put the wall shrink down another foot. So,
Is that the red and white, is that the retaining wall?
yeah, so basically you start with pouring the footing, the foundation. And once you do that, after a week, you can start building the rebar up. And those forms pretty much hold the concrete until it reaches its strength enough to be able to stand on its own. So contractor moves it, then moves south. I think a little bit, it's very thin wall, but you can see the gray area just south of that. It's been already constructed. Some of those areas do get a sound wall, so it's gonna be the masonry kind of like what you see on most parts of the freeway. And that's it for 5760. Answer any questions.
It's moving along well. I see it every single day, and it's moving fast. I'm glad that you guys are going ahead of the project. That makes sense, especially with the weather and the soil conditions. So,
It's really good to see the progress, though.
Oh, it is.
It's happening so quickly.
yeah, it is.
A couple weeks ago, Kevin and Renee, his whole team came to the city of Diamond Bar to do a town hall on the 5760. And I just want to tell you personally, both of you and the whole team, you guys did a great job. We're so appreciative of all the care, the effort, the compassion, and the good information that you presented. And as particularly this photo that we're looking at, some of the attendees were homeowners there. And, it was the sound and the noise and the dirt and you guys addressed that so very well. So really, really appreciate the information, and you were always very available to give your personal information, your personal contact, so they can have questions answered. I think that was appreciated. And, and really to clarify some misunderstandings. So thank you for that.
Well, it is because that's an active area with all the schools, especially around that area where you've got the confluence, but you've got those other outside areas that are part of it. And especially understanding where it is, you still go that way. You go around the other ways, you go through Diamond Bar Boulevard, you go the other ways that are not so impacted. So that's good for the information and
Very
getting the
much so.
residents.
Right.
I agree.
And it was just the communication that was really
Yeah.
appreciated. So thank you for that.
We have again by Mr. Sandoval.
Oh, Mr. Sandball.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I have two questions, and looking at this picture that's in front of me, and I'm thinking you are probably seeing the same picture. I'm counting 5 lanes, including the express lane. Is there going to be an additional lane? Is that to make it 6 total? So that's my first question. And the second question is, you will notice that in the area where it's nearest the house, nearest the homes, if you look kind of north of it or up, you'll see the green brush and shrubs. I assume all of that will be replaced. Is that correct?
So to answer the first part of the question is yes. The second part is that the green shrubbery, once we do put the retaining walls, we do some minimal planning. And I guess that does help with erosion since the water is going to come down and reduces the speed of it. But a little bit to the north, that's kind of overgrown. But when we replace it, it's not going to be that much. It's going
Sure.
to be,
Has there been any concerns expressed by the residents who live near that area regarding the brush?
to those, we haven't heard anything. But a little bit to the south, there was a whole bunch of, there was a lot of trees. Some of the fences were grown into the trees that it was encroaching into their properties. So I think they're going to be pretty happy with what's at the end of the day, a nice chain link fence and a sound wall behind them.
Right.
With a bunch of weeds.
Thank you, Chair.
Just one trailer question on that. As we come down into these yards on their property lines, is there drainage installed there?
There's going to be drainage behind the retaining wall, so most of it should be captured
After before it goes down,
at the top. After that, the planning should kind of slow it down.
because that's a major change for those properties with that slope coming down into their property, especially with, California never rains except for the last year. So now it's like we go from 0 to 100 inches, so that's good enough. Okay, so they'll be protected.
Yep.
Any other questions for the chat? Move on.
Jose?
Hey, good morning. Marty Moreno, Project Manager for the Fulton Road Grade Separation Project. Next slide, please. UP has had control of the site since approximately mid-January. They've been working on installing the tracks. As you can see, the shoe fly is on the left, which is the shoe fly is a temporary track that was installed back in March of 23. UP is working on the new main line on the right. You kind of see they completed one main line, and those are the railroad ties for the second main line. Next slide, please. We had a little rain. So part of the project, as you can see, kind of in the right-hand corner, is we're going to have a pump station there, which is part of the project, which will alleviate this in the future. So we're working with LA County Public Works to make sure we complete the pump station to their specifications and hand that over.
How deep is that right now?
That's a few feet, I would say 3 feet or so.
4 feet.
Yeah,
They're sitting up there.
yeah, we had to pump it out. So the contractor pumped that out. But we have been impacted a little bit by rain. But my focus was really on this one. Is we have a pump station. We're working with LA County Public Works, and we're looking to make sure that the pump station is in operation, hopefully by next storm season. Next, please. So while UP has been working on the railroad tracks, our contractor is focused on completing the work. What we call North Fullerton Road, which is at the intersection of Fullerton, San Jose, and Roland Street. That work should be completed in the next week or so in terms of pouring all the concrete. And we should have the striping completed in the week after. So by the end of the month, all the work should be complete. And the work to the left is actually being done by the City of Industry also. That work should also be completed by the end of the month. So hopefully by the end of the month, all the traffic detours and the other traffic work will be removed, and that intersection will be restored to its ultimate build out, and we'll have no more detours or any other traffic control measures there, and it'll be fully open to traffic.
That'll be greatly appreciated, I'm sure.
So that will be done by the end of the month. Next, please. Here's sort of a view. This is actually looking at the Gallus grade separation looking to the west. And you can see the temporary track on the right where the actual freight trains coming through, and the new main line on the left. UP is scheduled to complete that new main line by this weekend.
Are they gonna do it?
Yeah, they
Okay.
should do it. The cutover, which is the actual connection to the original main line, should happen the weekend of the 13th. Because they don't want to do it during the week because it's just there's just too much rail traffic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have literally
Yeah.
dozens upon dozens of trains going through that section every day. So that will be completed by the 13th. UP has then requested a 30-day seasoning period, which means they'd like to see traffic go over the new line for 30 days to make sure the new line is performing as expected. And once that occurs and the new line that still performs to their expectations, we will be given the go-ahead to start removing the temporary track and then proceed with our work of constructing the north half of the bridge and then the Railroad Street Bridge. So that'll be the next phase of the work. So we're hoping to start that kind of mid-May. I mean, because the cutover will be April 13th. 30 days later is a seasoning period. So that'll take us to approximately second week of May. Our contract will then begin work on the north half of the railroad of the UP Railroad Bridge and then the Railroad Street Bridge also for the vehicular traffic. So that's sort of the progress to date. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Sounds like it's moving well.
Just, yeah.
Good, Margaret, just start.
I'm on the Skag Regional Council, and last month we had a presentation from VSNF in two different levels, and they were actually freaking out because of some of the regulations that are coming down, that they have to be all electric by a certain time. It's going to be extremely costly. So my question is, are you taking on into consideration any of those things, like there have to be more charging stations or whatever in your product, you know what I mean?
Not in the scope of this project. I do know that the industry sort of looking to move towards electric.
Not that they want to.
I understand. That's where kind of CARB's going with fleets.
Yeah.
Of cities, municipalities, and railroads.
And I would just say there's a huge discussion because I know Metro's talking about their ahead of, or they had planned to be ahead of the CARB requirement for bus electrification. They're talking about that. There's a lot of discussion about, like you said, Alameda Corridor, the electrification of rail. There's also, we're working on getting a presentation because in addition to electrification, there's a whole discussion about hydrogen as another alternative. So then you have to think about how all of those fueling stations and how do you site those. So we actually have a contact, Gobis, I think, that might do a presentation to talk about that aspect of it. But there's like so many different things about what you're talking about. Yeah, there's a lot happening in the field of alternative fuel sources, especially for end trucks or things that are not passenger vehicles.
The sad reality, though, is it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
This is something that has to transition. It's just, it has to transition, but it's going to take some time. You know, this rate's been running for, my goodness, hundreds of years.
Yeah, everybody, and the trucks in the same
I know.
thing, and everybody's just, yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs, and like, we all want better quality air, everybody wants it. You can't just, say suddenly it's gonna happen overnight.
I'm just glad to see this all working with UPRR, with the shoe price being removed in another month and a half. And as Supervisor Solis is on, the public works and your pumping station, is that working out well with I've never heard any issues with public works, Los Angeles Public Works. That's been good.
According to my staff, everything seems to appear good on that level. Thank God, knock on wood.
Let's not jinx it, right, Supervisor? I just was curious because, our interface with other entities is important. We have a great relationship. And as we have Supervisor Solis here, if there's any issues, we want to know about it. Let her know about it so we work together to get it resolved. But it sounds like it's working well.
Fortunately, I just left there after 30 years, so.
He knows that.
I knows most of the people there.
Well, good. Well, if there's any issues, Supervisor Solis would like to hear them. If there was any issues, positive or negative, let her know. I think it's important.
My staff, Cos Freeman, is here and he's working very closely with them and knows them very well, and everything seems to be going well, and happy that there's progress on this. This looks really great. And I know someone mentioned about electrification of our fleet and also our bus lines. That's going to take time. I mean, right now the priority is electrification of one of our bus lines, starting from the 4th district, which is Supervisor Hahn, coming all the way up to El Monte. That will take a long time, and making sure that, you know, that we have enough support and funding and resources to get it done. And we're also looking at electrifying the Silver Line. So that's going to be coming. And other good news, maybe at some point it'd be good to have Metro talk about, or at least a presentation on some of the things that are going to happen in preparation for the Olympics, because we're also talking about the BRT from El Monte to Pomona, which is going to create bigger opportunities. And I know, Mayor Sandoval, you're fully aware, and we're really pushing for that as a priority. We did get additional money from the Biden administration, about $139 million, to create and push forward some of these projects in preparation for the games. And that's one that did meet the cut, which is exciting. So just kind of FYI.
Good news. Thank you. Thank you very much, Supervisor Slings. Any other comments on this, people?
All right,
Yes.
want to go?
So good morning, Chair Pepper and members of the CPCC. My name is Carrie Insiong. I'm the project manager over the Montebello Boulevard Grade Separation Project. Next, please. This is an aerial shot from a drone of the reconfiguration of Greenwood Avenue at Montebello Way. Greenwood Avenue is the street that's going kind of north-south on this picture, and Montebello Way is the street that's curving away to the right. This is an intersection that's being reconfigured, and at the end it will be a signalized intersection. There's one thing that I wanted to point out here at this picture, which is on the left-hand side of the picture, you'll see a mobile home park. There is a strip of parking that the mobile home residents use to park, you know, extra vehicles that they may have, as a sign of goodwill for the mobile home park. Our project is paying to reconstruct their parking lot because it's in really, really bad shape. We're going to reconstruct and repave and restripe that small parking lot for them at the end of our TCE occupational period. So that's just something that just to thank them for their cooperation and to kind of compensate.
Nice goodwill. I like that. That's nice. Yeah.
Next, please. This is not really any construction going on right now, but I just wanted to show you one of the many complications of this project. This is a spur track off of the Union Pacific mainline tracks that leads into Fleischmann's Vinegar Company. You'll see some very faint pink dots that have been spray painted onto the gravel there. That is some surveying work that we recently had to do because this spur track that leads into Fleischmann's Vinegar is going to need to be realigned when we put the shoe fly in. And we got a surveyor out there to see if we could make some tweaks to the geometry of the spur track when we realign it, such that we can kind of stay away from the Fleischmann's Vinegar, stay away from having to go inside the property, but it seems like we're not going to be able to do that. But this is just to kind of point out some of the, like I said, complications to this project. Fleischmann's Vinegar, they are like a leading manufacturer in vinegar products. And this is their only location on the Western United States, like west of the Mississippi. So anything we do inside of their facility, we have to be very, very careful. So like I said, this is not really construction, but just to point out some of the things that we have to deal with. Next, please. This is an aerial shot from Google Maps of the intersection of Greenwood Avenue and Mines. This is at the very, very southern end of the project. The red circle there that you see is an existing bus stop for Montebello Bus Lines, which is operated by the city of Montebello. We have been, and my purpose for showing this slide is to show you that we've been working with Montebello Transportation Department and the operators and staff at the, at Montebello bus lines to, relocate temporarily that bus stop on the northwest corner of that intersection. We're gonna be, moving it temporarily to the southwest corner. And again, I just wanted to show you that we've been working with, the affected departments at the city of Montebello. It's been going very great. Next, please. And then I wanted to point out that later this month, it's already April, we're going to have a community open house, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Montebello Senior Citizen Center. We've been working with Montebello city staff to secure this location, and we're in the planning stages right now for this meeting. And that's the end of my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff?
Hi, just wanna ask, to make sure the outreach that's going on, English, Spanish, and maybe API, you know, just to assure that people are fully aware. I mean, what is your method of outreach? Is it mail? Is it letters? What is it?
It's both, Supervisor Solis. We're also working on a Spanish language version of this flyer. It just had not been approved yet as of the time that, you know, when we put this PowerPoint presentation together, but we are in the middle of working on that Spanish language version. And we have, you know, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have our website as well. We've also been, we were also meeting with the Montebello Unified School District to talk to them about, you know, some of the impacts to their students.
Right.
So yes, we have a robust community outreach program to make sure that this, you know, word of this open house gets out.
Good. And I'm sure the city is helping with advertising too. I hope.
Yes. This flyer is hot off the presses. We just finished it last Thursday, Friday. So yes, we'll definitely be passing this along to city staff.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Carrie, if I can add, hi Supervisor Solis, I just wanted to let you know that we're doing multilingual outreach, and then putting ad placements in the Montebello Reporter. We'll be canvassing the communities just to let people know about the upcoming community open house. So there'll be a lot of outreach, and we're also working with the chamber as well.
Great. Any other questions?
Yeah, so I just wanted to, just first give a word of thanks for the outreach that you guys have been doing. I know I've been kind of like tough on that end in terms of like, are we walking, are we mailing, are we doing social media? Because everyone kind of receives information in different ways, and they have different kinds of accessibility. So you guys have been great on that. I've received pretty much 0 questions about what's going on. I think the community's been waiting for a long time for this to get going and happen. And so everyone's really excited to finally see, you know, we had the whole issue 5 or 10 years ago with the property takes that like in itself delayed the project several years. So to see those start to change and become construction sites, starting to see the offices built on the corner of Olympic and Montebello, you know, that on-site construction work and administration that's going on has been really exciting. So thank you guys so much for you know, jumping on that as this is coming up. You know, definitely want to reiterate that, you know, we want to be partners in this. So, you know, the city has been like starting to publish a lot of the information that you guys are sharing. 2 questions that I have. One, the website, I don't know if it has the most current information. I think there's been a lot of like really great developments over the last year as the county has approved funding. I think the state approved some funding for the project as well. And so when I share the website with people, the information is still kind of back from 2018. So I don't know if there's like newer resolutions or newer updates that we can publish there. So just as we share that information with the community directing there, it's the most current information on the status of the project. And then the second thing, and I couldn't tell from the aerial views of like, for example, the Fullerton project, but I don't see any signage that kind of like explains to passersby what's happening there. Either, you know, how long the project is expected to take, completion, winter 2024. It's always great to kind of see the cost of the project that, like our tax dollars are going to these things that we've been asking for. And then just, of course, mentioning that, the COG is in on this, with the city and everything else. So the question being, is there usually signage that's like informational signage that's put up?
There is, and we call them construction information signs. So it's something that we've kind of been working on. We did not put them up prior because we were still working out a funding agreement with one of our funding agencies. In fact, we're still kind of working that out right now because we like to put their logos on the construction information signs so that I guess I have to just say that's still in progress.
Sure.
And if I can, Councilmember Torres, I wanted to just let you know that after the open house, we intend to go back and give another verbal update to your city council, just to let you know how the open house went and what you can expect in the upcoming phases of construction. So it's kind of like giving you two things at the same update.
Sure, yeah, that's great. I'm the Montebello recently went to districting in 2022, and almost all of this project falls within my district.
Aren't you lucky?
Yeah. So
I know the feeling.
So it's definitely a question that I've gotten from a lot of my residents. There are some that live next to newly built units, next to the train tracks, wondering like, hey, we were told that we we're going to get quiet zones and everything else. And so it's been a very proud moment for me to kind of share that, hey, like, these things that we've been talking about are being delivered on. The questions that you have, like, they're seeing that change day by day, week by week. So I'm just very excited.
So it's all about being reelected. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
right. So it's great. Really appreciate it.
But we've been very, very appreciative of your public works department, Cesar Roldan, Rita Montalvo. They've been very, very helpful, very easy to work with. They understand the project, they understand the complications. And I just sent an email kind of pleading with your community development director this morning because there's a tenant improvement project that we kind of need them to expedite. So, but yeah, everyone at your city, from transportation to public works, has been very, just super nice to work with. Yeah, so thank you.
It's all about partnerships.
Absolutely.
That's very important. I mean, when we first started this, there was a few questions, and I know Supervisor Solis had some questions, and there was some little bit of miscommunication, and then that's cleared up completely. So that's really good to see. But it does take partnership with your city to work with us here at the COG as we all work together to make sure that everything gets done like it's supposed to, but also that we get the information out to you guys and make sure if there's any questions, you work together with your staff. Because without your staff, it doesn't work well. So that's great. It's nice to hear that you're working well.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I think just on that note though, and I didn't bring it up at the time we were going through that, I know that our city staff is really grateful for all the communication and the collaboration that we've had with the COG on like Fulton Road and the project and with some of those betterments and whatnot. And I should have said something at the time, but just kudos to staff, and I know that city ministry staff is very appreciative, very grateful for that.
I think all of our cities have been the benefit cities that have been doing COG work or anything that infringes on the COG work.
Yeah.
It's been excellent. It's like a gold mine. It's like information. We get information out to everyone. We tell them what's going on, tell them what to expect or what you're really going to expect and forewarn them before. So we really appreciate that.
I've learned so much in that sense now because our city manager now, Josh, has a huge engineering background. And so I always used to feel like, God, I don't know what that's about, or, it's like,
Now you
now
now
I'm more
yeah.
comfortable with him as the city manager, whatever. There are no dumb questions. I ask them all the time.
There are no.
And it's really, really interesting. Because I watched and seeing some of these videos and watching these projects progress, there were times when I would just sit here, so cool. I really want to ask something, but then, in the essence of time or whatever, I go back to my city now and I'm like, Josh, what is it? How did they do that? How did they? It's amazing.
Any question or any issue, if it's asked before, it might solve a lot of problems
know.
because not everybody's thinking on the same
Yeah.
page. So no, I think that's great.
It's amazing. So good work. Thanks, staff.
Good luck.
Thank you. Next, is that it? Yep.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I guess that's good.
It's all you.
Someone gave me like a whole bunch of stuff here. It's like, we'll start. We have a lot going on. Well, last month I mentioned during our recent governing board meeting, I had the honor of leading our Sgvcog delegation. That included staff, members Ricky and Steph on an advocacy trip to Washington, DC. We met with our San Gabriel Valley House members and staff from various federal agencies, including US DOT, and provided updates on our capital and infrastructure projects such as the ACE program, grade separations, and accurate safety improvements on the 5760 project. We also advocated for key Sgvcog funding priorities, including continued funding for freight and good movements infrastructure and multimodal transportation projects. The connections we made on behalf of the agency will continue and serve the COG members for years to come. It was a very fruitful in our Townsend and with Ricky and Steph. We have relationships now, and it just makes those relationships even better when we make a trip to DC. It does make a difference. And we're very, I can't say it enough, extremely respected. And they know, I'm not sure which one it was. It might have been, it was one of the last meetings we had. Oh, you're with the COG. Oh, my. Well, we're going to work on anything we can to get you money. And it's like, okay, you know, this is, it was a replacement for Einstein. LaFonso, and they were like, we're going to follow you. We're going to make sure we check with you. We're going to make sure everything. And that goes along with the other agencies too. They all just have a lot of respect. So kudos to staff, Marissa, and everybody here, and also our member cities. We do well. So I'm also pleased to report in March, California Transportation Commission approved the COG's funding request for $418,000 to facilitate the design and right-of-way acquisition phases for the Pomona at-grade pedestrian crossing safety improvement project. The funding allocation is part of a $5.9 million grant awarded to the COG through the state's active transportation program that will enable the implementation of safety measures at 2 of the 5 key Union Pacific Railroad and Metrolink railroad crossings within the city of Pomona. Good job, Tim. Staff anticipates construction on these improvements to begin in summer 2025. We're grateful to the CTC for their continued support. Obviously, those areas in Mr. Sandoval's area in Pomona absolutely need it. So we're very happy for that and looking forward to that coming soon. Another exciting news I would like to report is that our Diamond Bar Golf Course project won an award. I think we already said that. Congratulations. It is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Project won an award for the government category and will be recognized at the upcoming Construction Management Association of America, CMAA, Southern Californians Awards Gala in June. Congratulations to the project team, including our construction management firm, Answer Advisory, and our general contractor, Griffith Company, for a job well done. And in the light of this news, I'm thrilled to announce that the Diamond Bar Golf Course is officially reopening to the public on April 20th. April 20th. Honestly, that has been one of the most amazing transitions in as far as I'm concerned, being in construction, an extremely short time frame. And everything fell in place properly. And it looks amazing, just amazing. We will move to General Counsel's report. Mr. DeBerry.
Yeah, I'm going to just report on a case about a year ago. I had the pleasure of arguing before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals on a case that involved who bore the cost liability for relocating utilities in the street. And I represented Orange County Transportation Authority. They were building a streetcar and they had to move facilities belonging to SoCal Gas and Southern California Edison. And they argued based upon some pretty old cases, one in the United States Supreme Court, one in the California Appellate Court, that the streetcar was a proprietary use. And that was an exception to the general rule that the utilities have to pay for their relocations in the street. Since that time, I know some utilities have also been arguing that if a city relocates its water lines and that causes them to relocate, that water is a proprietary use and so that the cities have to pay for that relocation. So they've been making this proprietary use argument for a little while. Anyway, finally got a decision 2 weeks ago, came down on the side of OCTA, ruled that Edison and SoCal Gas have to pay for their own relocations, and that a rail line was not for proprietary use, So at least I actually represent a number of agencies that are arguing with utilities over these things, and we've entered into these disputed liability agreements. So hopefully now the utilities will pay for all these relocations. They've asked for a rehearing. I'll know if they get one in about 30 days, but it's typically at the Ninth Circuit, they only give rehearings to about 2% of the cases. So
We like when they pay for everything.
yeah, but so always. And Tim, it doesn't help Metro because Metro has a specific statute that requires them to pay for relocation. So sorry about that, but anyway, so hopefully, you know, their request for rehearing will be denied. They could appeal to the United States Supreme Court, but I think that court's a little too busy with that.
You think? Well, thank you. That's
Good job. Good job.
news. That's good news for our local community because we did an undergrounding for the Edison. It was all their deal on right up the gold line area there. So it was great.
Can they pass it on to the residents though?
What's that?
Pass it on to the residents? The cost?
Sure. I mean,
Well,
I think maybe your public works people, I don't know in your various cities where you've been getting any pushback from the utilities on who pays for relocations.
We ultimately pay for it anyway, you know, Maggie.
Well, that's one of the interesting things. You pay for
We
it.
ultimately pay for the whole thing, but in little increments over a million years. You know. Thank you. With that, the next upcoming CPCC meeting will be July 15th.
Yes.
Okay, very good. We actually are going into closed session now, and ask everyone that is not part of this committee to please leave the room except for legal counsel, committee members, and Renee Carnell.
I'll just be there. So the reason we're going in closed session, our conference with the property negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. The properties are shown on the agenda and they're located in the city of Pico Rivera. The agency's negotiators are Kevin Light and Renee Cornell. And the negotiating parties are the club in the city of Pico Rivera. And we also have conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, one potential case.
We will be reporting out, is that correct?
We won't have anything to report out. No.
I apologize, I couldn't stand up because I run so much, I can't sit this many hours.
I can't even move, so, you know.
I
But
can
probably
ask
should-
everybody
probably should say.
to get out of Zoom or the slide.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Okay.
I still see a
It's
few
fine to
people.
report out, just say it.
We got it.
I won't be taking you off.
Just got them off, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
So we'll report out.
Or make us that most of it.
Right.
Anybody else want water?
It's for the public, so I'm gonna get them out. That was for public.
But then they can't come
I'm
back.
just gonna bring the picture in the cup.
Actually, that's a great idea.
Okay, David. So the city of Claremont is still logged on. If we kick them off, they can't, Zoom doesn't let them come back though. Is that a problem? It's a teleconference location.
Because they can't participate in closed session or?
Or isn't after closed session?
Oh, no, I mean, just do it, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, yeah.
Oh, they left. They're doing
Thank you.
it.
They're gonna bring the picture.
I'll bring the water jug.
Yep.
We have nothing to report. We just finished closed session. We have nothing to report out. With that, we're going to adjourn at 12:08 p.m. on April 1st. I want to thank everybody's participation and have a great week.
And not a single April Fool's prank.
No, it's early. That's early. Hey, happy April Fools.
April 20. Bye.